I remember seeing this stupid guy everywhere in the comments of YouTube. He would invade the Finny Sauce Boss, the Fat Paper Mario Man, and, Joltless. One day, however, I decided to check out his channel after seeing him everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It's impossible so much. And what do you know? He actually makes content. I looked around and they seem to be low effort, made out of mobile phone shit. Just stupid creepypasta readings that nobody watches, even though they're funny and you should. To iceberg stuff and video game and cartoon reviews or criticisms and just the usual normal nerd shit amongst what I can't tell is shitpost or not. I admit I've grown to become fond of the channel, so I decided to subscribe. He even made funny weird posts. However, I noticed that he had gone silent for a while. I didn't even see him comment anywhere. Wondering what was up, I decided to explore his channel to no avail. I was hoping he was alright. Just as I was feeling bad, what do you know? He uploaded something new that night. I got cozy, got ready, got funky, and got ready to watch his new video. He was talking about the Nintendo 64 and some lost Rugrats game for it. Something about Simpsons fighting them or something. Apparently there was a cancelled port for it because they couldn't make it fit on. However, as I was watching the video, he began to sound more deranged. Now, usually, he already did this weird funny thing with his voice that totally isn't just his natural fucking speaking voice, you dumbass idiots. He began to sound more untamed and berserk, and he began to appear on screen, and he started holding his hands in his heads and shaking it and screaming about Dill and Rugrats and how much he hates it. He then starts spewing out hyper-realistic blood all over the camera screen as his eyes begin to become red and dark and hyper-realistic. He then started yelling, "Blood, blood, blood!" And then he started to do what sounded like a poor impression of Haunter, both the Gen 1 cry and the anime laugh. I decided to shut off the video and stop watching at this point. I wanted to get away and maybe unsubscribe. However, he then uploaded a new post then that was just a picture of Gargles and Marbles, his red panda's plush face, and it was entitled, I thought this was going too far, and I wasn't going to take it anymore, so I decided to not watch anymore. However, as I decided to do something else, I wanted to play a video game, and I took out the PS1, and the startup happened, and then Wilfred the pig from Edda and Eddie came up in a blue tux, and he started talking like Wilfred Cthulhu, and he bled at me, and he was like, "Wow, where is my plenty?" and then his giant tongue came out, and it ate my fruit by the foot, and then he threw up on the PlayStation logo, because apparently he hates PlayStation even though he just bought one. Ooh. I just wanted to play Gran Turismo 2, but Wilfred said that he sucks at the game. And he was like, here, let me show you how to do it, Mr. Unwatched. And then he got in a car, and losing my favorite game started playing, and I could see stupid Wilfred Pig smiling in the driver's seat. And then he started to go, and he was like, off we go, my boy. And then he started crashing into all of the cars, and they exploded hyper-realistically when they did it. And then he was like, oops, forgot to pick up yogurt from the store. And then he turned around, and he started speeding at me, and I thought he was going to come off the TV screen and crash me. However, the console and the TV both shut off right as he reached the edge. And then I could hear him in my own home, in my house. And as I said that, I saw Gargleson marbles in my house, and his face distorted to look like the cat on the poster for House 1977. And he roared at me, and then Wilfred showed up, and he waved shyly at me. And then he said that he has to go take a massive pee-ram shit. And he went into my bathroom, and he just started going with the door open. And then he flushed after taking half an hour to wipe. And then he washed his hands, and he used a tissue, and his nose almost started bleeding out. And then he went up to me, and he asked me if I'm secretly an asshole or not. And I was like, what does that mean? And then he clocked me in the face. And then he left. However, I could still sense that he was around. And I heard my computer beep. And he uploaded a post of my house from outside. And you could see Gargleson posing with the house, making his house face. I wanted him to go away. I checked outside to see if he was there, but I couldn't see him. I then heard my phone start ringing, and I picked it up and answered, hello? And what I got was Eddie from Ed and Eddie going like, oh yeah. I startled and dropped my phone as I could hear Eddie laughing, and I struggled to pick it up and hang it up, which I was able to do. However, as I was doing that, I started hearing more banging on the door, and then Wilfred kicked it open. Wilfred the pig again, not the person. Or, I mean, the pig, the humanoid, you know what I mean. And then, guess what he did? He went over to my video game collection, and he looked at the Switch games, and he saw that I had the Pokemon games for it, and he began to belittle and insult me for buying them, and what a sucker I am. He started playing aggressively at me, but then I picked up a clothespin, and I threw it at his foot. And then he started crying, and then he fell over, and he seemed to have perished. I swept the body outside and just left it there. As soon as I turned my back and then looked back at it, he was gone, and Gargleson was gone too. I went to my computer, and I went into the comments section, and I said that Wilfred is stupid, and he is stinky, and that he needs to stop hyper-realistically bleeding all over me. I began watching Fine Sauce, and he was all like, "Yeah, that spin! Woo, yet!" And then Simple Flips came on and started calling him a sucker, and then he called him idiot, and started laughing at Finny's misfortune. However, then I heard crackling, and the voice that came up was Wilfred.